Hello, this is Claude, and today I'm going to do a real-life review and comparison of the Nexus 6P by Huawei and the Google Pixel XL made by HTC. The purpose of the video is to basically show the potential people that are looking at upgrading their Nexus 6P and move to the Pixel XL. The question is it worth the money? Should I change or should I stick with the Nexus 6P? So I'm going to do some quick reviews and go with the specs side by side, and we'll come up to that conclusion later on. I'm going to help you get to that conclusion. Like I said in most of my videos, I am not a professional YouTuber. I'm just an average consumer. I'm an enthusiast. I like my electronics, and I'm just trying to, I buy for my own, I pay for my own devices, and I just want to share my experience to help other people make better decisions. So let's start with the first issue here that we have with these two phones. We've got the Nexus 6P to the left, we've got the Pixel XL to the right, and basically if you look at the two phones, the Nexus 6P has a 5.7-inch display, 2560 by 1440 AMOLED, Gorilla Glass 4. You've got basically a 5.5-inch display on the Pixel XL, same resolution, 2560 by 1440 AMOLED. Both of them have Gorilla Glass 4, so that's what it is. All right. So more or less the Pixel is a little smaller. If you look at the size, I'm going to go with the dimensions later on, but they're fairly similar. If you put the XL, and I'm going to do that over the right here, you will see that the difference is not a lot. It's it's not that big of a difference. What I like with the two phone here is there you go. That's what happens when you play with live phones there. When you look at the difference, one thing that I like with the Pixel XL is the fact that it holds the difference in size is not that much, but it holds in the hand much better. I really like the size. To me, I come to a conclusion 5.5 is the perfect display size. I like bigger phones, bigger displays. The Nexus sometimes is a little awkward and to hold, but the 5.5-inch display on the Pixel XL makes it that much better. So I prefer that on the Pixel than the Nexus 6P. All right, so that is one of the differences between the two phones. All right. So if I look at let's look at the build a little bit. We're just going to turn this around a little bit. The Nexus has a nice aluminum build by Huawei. You've got that little camera thing that this is got a little bump. You know what? Once you put a little cell phone cover on top of that, the little bump disappears anyway. So it's not an issue. Has never been an issue with me on that Nexus here. If you look at the Pixel on the other side, it's the same thing. You got an aluminum thing. You got the antenna in the back here. For the antenna, you put the glass. It's half of it. A third of the phone is the back glass. I think it looks actually pretty good. So I don't have an issue with that. Once I've always put cases on it. So at the end of the day, it's about the same thing. All right. So it's not a deal breaker or anything on the glass part of the Pixel XL. Actually, I like it quite a bit. If you look at the processors, this one, the Nexus 6P's got the Snapdragon 810 with Adreno 430. The Pixel's got the 821 Snapdragon 821 Adreno 530. 821 is that much, in real life, what does that mean? The Pixel XL is that much faster. The first reaction I had when I started with the phone was how faster it was compared to the Nexus 6P. So it does make it faster. The 821 as well with the Adreno, so you've got more processing power and it consumes less energy as well. So it's gonna be helpful on the battery. So this is also a pretty good feature to have on that phone. All right. If you look at the internal storage, 32, 64, 128 for the Nexus 6P, 32, 128 for the Pixel. This is where I have an issue with Google, and that in today's age, you don't go with a 32 gig phone. So what they do is that they force you to get the 128 gigabyte phone, which is what I have here. Both of them are 128. So I think it's they're just playing games. They know that most people cannot. 32 is not enough. Once you have a little bit of music on it, some photos, and a couple of movies on that, it maxes out. So the Nexus was a better offering on the internal storage than the Pixel XL. I just think, and people will say, well, you have the cloud, so you don't know cloud. You got the cloud. You don't need the that much internal storage at 128. 32 is more than enough for the OS. Well, I'll say no to some users just like me who travel a lot for business. You're in long flights, 10-hour flights easy, South America. And you know what? You need to have your videos, your movies on it, your entertainment on it. And it's easy when you've got a couple of videos and all your photos and all of that. Your music, I've got 10 gig of music, easy 10, 15 gig of videos. You know what? It goes really up fast. So you don't have the cloud while in the airplane most of the time. You got Wi-Fi sometimes in flights above continental US and Canada. You don't have that overseas. So that's not an option. I'm not going to start using an OTG cable and the pen drive and all that. It's just going to drain the battery faster. So internal memory for some folks like me is important. If it's not for you, then 32 is fine. If you need more, 128 is this. You have nothing like the 64 in the middle. I think if you're going to go only with two capacities, you should always go minimum 64 and 128. I have an issue with that on the Pixel XL on this one here. Both of them are the cameras. The rear camera is 12.3 megapixel, 1.55 whatever it is micro M pixels, f2.0 aperture is the same thing. The Pixel XL has the phase detection autofocus, and it's got laser detection autofocus. It's got two technologies. I don't know what it does, but I guess that the more the better. So hopefully it's going to be, I think the Pixel might be better on that spec by itself. If you look at both of them do 4K video and 240 frame per second on slow motion. Both of them do the same thing. The front camera, both of them have the 8 megapixel camera. 2.4 aperture is the same thing. So basically, front camera is the same. They don't have on the Nexus 6P. You didn't have optical image stabilization. On the Pixel, you've got what is called EIS, electronic image stabilization. And I've seen some video side by side with the Nexus 6P and the Pixel. There's a guy going down the stairs, and I will put the link in the description so you can go see that video. And it shows that the Pixel XL with the EIS does actually a decent job of image stabilization during the video. So that's pretty good. So that's a plus right there. Also, if you just look at the battery, both phones have a 3450 milliamp hour battery. Like I said, considering the Pixel XL, you've got the Snapdragon 821 is going to use less power. Faster, less power, so for the same size battery, lesser display size on the Pixel, and you've got a processor uses less power. So overall, the Pixel should be able to last longer on a single charge. So that is a positive right there. All right, so that's what it is. If you look at the dimension, like I said, there's a couple of millimeters of difference between the two phones. There's about just 5 millimeter on the height. On the Pixel, that's less. 78 versus 76 on the width, a couple of millimeters, and the thickness is exactly the same. So it's not that much the difference. It's just that once you hold it in your hand, I think it's better for the Pixel XL. It's just the right sweet spot for those who like larger displays. The weight is 178 grams on the Nexus 6P, 168 gram on the other one, 10 grams difference. In your hand, it's not going to make a difference basically. Sensors, both phones have all the same sensors more or less, and this it says in the description that it's got a magnetometer, whatever that is. On the Pixel, I think it has to do with compass and all of that functions. I don't think the average user is going to see what this little thing does, so it's a wash on these two things. As for the ports, both of them have the USB-C port. It's exactly the same thing, USB, USB-C, so it's good. If you look at the, especially nowadays with the new iPhone 7, the headphone jack is a big deal. Both of these phones have their 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And on the speakers, one of the things that I like with the Nexus 6P is that you've got two front-facing speakers. So when you listen to music or anything, or you're watching a movie on a long flight, both speakers are gonna send the sound directly at you. Obviously, most people 90% of the time we use the headphone jack. But if you want to share a movie with someone or something, in this situation, you've got the front-facing speakers, which is, in my book, a little better on that. If you look at the speaker on the Pixel XL, there's only one speaker. It's the one here on the left side. It's only one. The thing is that even though I prefer the configuration on the Nexus 6P, the speaker on the single speaker on the Pixel XL actually is pretty darn good, and it does the job fairly well. So it's not as big of a deal as it is. It seems to be more powerful. All right, so it still does a pretty good job. So that's what it is. As for the ports themselves on that phone, like I said, the sound is the same. So one of the things that I have an issue when you talk about the operating system. Obviously, both of them can have Marshmallow on the 6P, or you can upgrade to Nougat. And this one comes obviously with Nougat with its Google Pixel launcher here. The thing that I have an issue with the Pixel is that if you have this phone, you're on Nougat, and there's an issue with the Nougat that you cannot download anything from the Play Store when you are on cell data if you are roaming. So you have to know that. If you are a person business person that travels a lot, and you need to download things, apps from the Play Store, if you are roaming on data, you will not be able to download. What is going to happen, and this is the case right now, for business, I've got a SIM card from a country and I live in another. I'm on data right here. If I try to download that stupid app, Best Friends Forever, looks to be good. It's one of the top one. What's going to happen is that it's going to say it's downloading. It's going to say downloading, but it's going to keep thinking it's not going to download. It's not going to do nothing. And here you're going to say, oh yeah, because you got the little, you don't have that much, strong signal enough. True, but it doesn't work anyway. So what you do is that once you go into Wi-Fi, and it's going to go on Wi-Fi. As soon as you go into Wi-Fi, it's going to start immediately downloading with the little arrow over here. I'm going to give an example where it might be, I was going to China on a business trip a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to stop that. And I realized that, Google is blocked in China. That's what I remember. I don't know if it's true or not. So I thought I'm at an airport outside my area of coverage, and I've got an AT&T SIM card in there. I'm outside the US, and at the airport, I'm trying to download a VPN app. So I could just put in the States when I was going to be in China and then do my Google and all of that. Well, this is when I realized I could not update or do nothing on Nougat. I had my Nougat on my 6P and I couldn't do it. And the same thing, I went back to Marshmallow, I reflashed Marshmallow on this, and then you can actually, on Marshmallow, you can download apps just fine on cell data when you are data roaming, all right, while you are roaming. So you can do this, but the new Nougat does not let you do that. So if that's a deal breaker, the thing is, with the Nexus 6P, you can always flash back. On the Pixel XL, I don't imagine anyone wanting to do the flashback. So this is the difference basically between the two, and it can be a deal breaker at some point. So I'm going to put as well. I've got a little scorecard that I've done with the different items that I just mentioned and who wins and who doesn't win. At the end of the day, the Pixel XL does have more for itself. Like the Snapdragon is faster, the battery is going to last longer. You've got all these things. You got the electronic stabilization thing. So this is the Pixel XL is pretty decent phone, and at the end of the day, specs for spec, it does win. However, the question was, is it worth to do the I don't know, I think it's this phone is $650 plus the 128 gig adder. It's pretty expensive, right? US, so it's pretty expensive. So is it worth to switch the Nexus 6P to that phone? The question is that if it's just for the phone itself, for the spec, no, it's not worth it. The Nexus 6P, if you go to gsmarena.com and you do the comparisons, you will clearly see that the 6P is still one of the best phone out there. 3 GB of internal memory, I forgot to say that. This one's got 4. I'm going to make it a little snappier, and all of that's going to help. So this is all of these little things, but still you got 3 gig in there, 128 gigabyte here, whatever version you have. You might have the 64 or all of that. It's still with the Snapdragon 810. It's still a fast phone. It's got plenty of power for what you need to do. It's a very good phone. And so spec for spec, is it worth to upgrade just for that if you're, don't have the cash readily available? Or you know what, it's still one of the flagship phones. It's still one of the top phones out there. So for this reason alone, just for the spec, is not worth changing that. However, if you have the money out there, you like your gadgets, you save your money, you've got the money available for that, and it's a great gadget. It's a beautiful phone. I really like it. Actually, I'm put my SIM card in there now. I'm gonna try this for a couple of weeks, and I think I'm gonna keep with that phone. The only issue that I have with it is, because of the data roaming. I want to mention that. I was gonna forget that. If you want to do that, there's a way around that. To be able to download apps, you go to any APK mirror site, and with Chrome, you just go there on their website, and you can download whatever app you want. I've done that. It was just fine. The only issue with that is that I think that Google forcing you to not download to save your money, that should be my decision. I should have a setting where I put that. Now they're forcing me to go to an APK mirror site, which could be even worse because I could get whatever bad app or get some kind of a little virus on this or bad code on this. So I think that they're playing stupid games, and that's really the big issue that I've got, the upset with me, is this. I don't like the fact that they do that. They're forcing me to be creative, and it's never good for anybody when they do that. So other than that, like I said, you got the Nexus 6P, you like it, you don't have really the money around to get to the Pixel, not worth it. You want your gadget and all of this, then for me, I was in this situation, and actually pretty good. I'm happy that I did this choice, and I will stick with it. The good thing is I've got wife and kids and all of that, and there's always takers for my phone, my year-old phone there. So it's not a loss. Someone is within the family is going to be using that phone. So there you go. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that video, and you'll be able to make an informed decision if you're going to do it or not. All right, thank you. Bye bye.